I just don't know how any of you don't see that this guy's the fucking greatest fighter in the history.
I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and the UFC's going to pay it. Hopefully, I hope they pay it.
I agree with him.
What happens to mixed martial arts if Jon Jones beats Tom Aspinall after Tom Aspinall being the guy that everybody thought could beat him? After Tom Aspinall doing what he's done to the heavyweight division, imagine if he wins. Imagine the position he will find himself in terms of negotiating power.
Every year, and this year, it would be Aspinall Jones. That's the biggest fight in heavyweight history. And at the end of the day, what my job is to give the fans what they want, and that's what the fans want.
Obviously, you said you want him to fight Tom next, and you said that could just be the biggest heavyweight fight of all time.
It will be.
Oh, man. That might be the best fight in MMA.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. People will lose their minds if either one.
All right, fight fans, welcome back to Quick Rundowns, your go-to channel for everything boxing, MMA, and combat sports. And today, we've got some wild news to talk about. Dana White just went on the Joe Rogan Experience and addressed the bombshell rumors about Jon Jones's retirement. Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. All right, let's get into it.
Top of my head, I don't know. I know we have our new schedule mapped out until probably February.
Okay.
Everything is sort of a TBD. So what we'll do is we'll lay out 3 different possibilities that we could end up in, on certain dates. And we'll start to narrow that down as we get into the...
So, here's what went down. Dana White, sitting across from Joe Rogan, shuts down the rumors that Jon Jones is retiring. Dana straight up says Jones hasn't told him anything about hanging up the gloves.
That I'm changing my mind. It's that I'm looking at a different opportunity. Obviously, the Saudis have, Sheikh Turkey specifically, has completely reinvigorated boxing, making fights that couldn't be made before, that would have never been made had it not been for him. So he and I have, created a relationship, and it's made me more interested.
Now this is a huge deal because those retirement whispers, they've been all over the internet, especially after Jones allegedly asked for a $30 million payday to fight Tom Aspinall.
Jones has had a career that, if he wants something, we would do it. But you can't just want to do a fun fight and not fight the interim heavyweight champion, the guy who's next. Because if Jon Jones retired on Saturday, Tom Aspinall would be the heavyweight champion. So opportunities were given to Jon Jones. He was 23. He was the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. Now, as he sits where he sits, it's his obligation to give it to the younger guy, to give him that opportunity. And if he beats Tom Aspinall, then yes, I would do the Alex Pereira fight.
Dana White. Jon Jones hasn't even hinted at retirement. These rumors are nonsense. We're in talks for the big... Okay, Dana, I hear you. But let's talk about what this really means. If Jones isn't retiring, then why hasn't this fight with Aspinall been locked in yet? Is it really just about the money? Or is there something else going on here? Now, we all know Jon Jones is the GOAT, but asking for $30 million, that's no pocket change.
And then he would go for the head kick and slipping punches. I mean, he's going to be 38 years old this summer. He looked incredible. I just don't know how any of you don't see that this guy's the fucking greatest fighter in the history of people fighting. He's 37 going on 38. And again, tonight, he went in and did what he did. He's fucking unbelievable. And as long as he's active, he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world.
Dana's hinted in the past that paying fighters that kind of money just isn't in the UFC's playbook. Could this be why negotiations are stalling? Is Dana refusing to budge on the checkbook? But here's the real question. Does this make Jones look like he's ducking Tom Aspinall? Think about it. Aspinall is younger, faster, and on fire right now. He's got a 100% finish rate and moves like no heavyweight we've seen before. Is Jones hesitating because he sees Aspinall as a real threat?
Aspinall, I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC's going to pay it.
Let's flip the script to Tom Aspinall for a second. What does this mean for him? If Jon Jones delays this fight, or worse, walks away entirely, does Aspinall get robbed of his chance to prove himself against the greatest of all time? This could be a legacy-defining moment for Aspinall. And I gotta say, fans are gonna demand this fight happen, no matter what it takes. If Dana and Jones can't agree, it'll be one of the biggest missed opportunities in UFC history. So what do you guys think? Is Jon Jones really asking for too much money? Or is Dana White being too cheap to pay the GOAT what he's worth? And do you think Jones is hesitating because he's worried about Aspinall's skill set? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I need to know what you think.
It's hard to bet against Jon, but Jon's not a real heavyweight. Yeah. Jon could make light heavyweight, 100%. He weighs 230 right now, maybe a little less than 230. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt in my mind that if Jon just changed his diet and went back, he hasn't put that much mass on that you would say 205 is out of reach.
No, it's fluffy weight.
Yeah.
A lot of it too.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had always had the reputation of all the heavyweights up at Jackson Winklejohn. Top 10 in the world as a heavyweight. I thought it was the shit. He fucked me up. He goes, he beat my ass. And he goes, he beat everybody else's ass too. All the other heavyweights, ragdoll dudes way bigger than him. He's just a freak. Problem for him, right? Because he has not been tested in that way. And, you're getting up to elite status where you're calling out Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Right? That's the boogeyman. Like, Jon Jones is the boogeyman, and maybe he hasn't died, but he's probably he's probably knocked on the door a couple of times. Like, what's going on, Death? You in there?
All right, fight fans. That's it for today's quick rundown. Make sure you smash that like button, share this video with your fight crew, and hit that subscribe button for all the latest updates on Jones versus Aspinall and beyond. This story is far from over, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Until next time. Stay hyped and keep fighting for the truth.
Tom Aspinall, he's different, man. For a heavyweight, the speed, explosiveness, the way that guy moves, and power, 100% finish rate. Yeah, he's a bad boy.
Joe Rogan had some serious thoughts about a potential clash between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones. And trust me, you'll want to hear this one.
There's no doubt about that the guy's got the talent. But when you start talking the greatest of all time, again, you know how I feel about Jon Jones. It's just, you got some big shoes to fill, and you got a lot of people to wreck, before you even start talking about even being within Jon Jones' universe, in my opinion.
Jon Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. And I always say this about Jon's got a dark side to him, man. Jon's got like those dogs that'll rip your arms apart and do all that. He shoots guns. Jon Jones is a killer. Jon Jones is a whole nother. I consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. When you talk about the Alis and the this and that, I think it's probably the biggest fight that Jon Jones would do that fight, right? I mean, even before the fight, I said if he won, there's no way Jon doesn't do this fight. Jon Jones isn't afraid to fight anybody, and that's a fact. Guys, let me explain something to you. Jon Jones is a whole nother. Consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. Being the greatest of all time doesn't mean you get $30 million. Being able to sell. Jon Jones has done a lot of things to himself. He's saying, in one of his tweets, he was saying that I tarnished you? You've done a very good job of tarnishing you.